Hi folks. Today we're going to look at compound time. Let's begin by looking at a piece in 3/4. That means there are 3/4 note beats in every bar. You can see the beats in the top stave and the bottom stave has a melody. There's also a metronome mark, which tells us the speed of the music in beats per minute. On the bottom right, I've created two images which will help you visualize the beats. The numbers count the beats, and the wheel represents their duration. Let's listen. Now let's look at the same melody in 3/8 time. In 3/4, the 4 at the bottom indicates that a quarter note is one beat, and in 3/8 time, the 8 at the bottom means that an eighth note has one beat. I've indicated this by putting an eighth note at the center of the wheel. Since the metronome mark has been changed to eighth note equals 120, that is 120 eighth note beats per minute, it will sound exactly the same as the previous version. Now let's speed up the 3/8 version. The metronome mark now indicates 90 dotted quarter notes per minute, which is the equivalent of 278 notes per minute. So it's much faster. Now let's look at the same version again with the bars grouped in twos. I've put a dotted line between the first and second in each group, and a bar group indicator on the top right. As you'll listen, you can hear the bar groups themselves beginning to form beats. If we remove the dotted bar lines, we end up with 6/8 time. 6/8 is basically two 3/8 bars added together. The grouped bars then become beats in themselves. You can see these indicated on the top stave. There are two dotted quarter note beats and also 6/8 note beats in each bar, so we basically have two types of beat in the bar. That's why it's called compound time. The dotted quarter note beats are indicated with a large wheel, and the eighth note beats by the small one. Notice the large wheel is 3 times the size of the small one, and that the wheels are interlocked, so the small wheel turns 3 times faster than the large one. In the same way, the long beat is always 3 times the duration of the short beat. Six-eight time is known as compound duple time, since there are two long beats in the bar. Compound quadruple time also exists, and can be created by joining two bars of 6/8 together. Here's the melody in 12/8, with 4 long beats in the bar and 12 short ones. The beat counters and wheels have been adjusted to follow this. We also have compound triple time. This has a 9 as the top number of the key signature. Here is a different melody in 9/8. There are 3 dotted quarter notes and 9 eighth notes in the bar. Remember how we changed the first tune from 3/4 to 3/8 time? We simply changed the bottom number and the metronome mark. We can do the same with 6/8. If we join two bars of 3/4 together, we get 6/4 time. This is not as common as 6/8, but it does occur. You will note you can't really tell if the music you're hearing is in 6/8 or 6/4 time. It sounds the same if the metronome mark is adjusted accordingly. Let's listen to the first two bars in 6/4. If we make the half note the one beat note, we can get 6/2 time, where the short beat is a half note and the long beat a dotted whole note. This is pretty unusual, so let's listen. Finally, here is 6/16 time. The dotted eighth note forms the long beat and the 16th note the short one. Notice that 6/16, 6/4, 6/2, and 6/8 all sound the same. They are just written differently. So how do we know if a time signature is compound? If the top number divides by 3, and it is not 3, we have compound time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Remember to hit the subscribe button.